Welcome to Bet the Algo Week 10. I am Can't Miss Mitch. Alongside of me virtually, we got to get back in the studio. Peter the Irish guy. Next week, it's happening. How are you, Pete?
I'm fantastic. Can't wait. I would love to get back in the studio. I need a little change of mojo again after a rough week, but no one gives a shit about me, Mitch. The only thing we care about is the algo. 9-5. What a week 9. Really producing again. I think the other thing that I loved about that week, was it our first week that we were officially involved with sports data now as well. So them keeping an official record. So it's nice to start off with a good week like that. Some of the big takeaways, we can get straight into it. 9-5, as I said, the 3 free that we give out, 3-0. I love that, especially considering, you go on certain things during the week. RosterWatch is one of them, and give out some free picks. So I love seeing that happen. The other thing I wanted to point out, our locks are kind of back. Our locks now.
Yes, they are.
Consecutive weeks of hitting. We both hit this week. I had KC, you had Tampa Bay. So yeah, that was another big one. The Circa also back. The start of a new quarter, 4-1, a great week, a great way to kick off. That gets you right away in the hunt for this quarter, gets the algo's name up at the top of some lists. So I think it was a great week all around. You're
right. And just when we started to doubt the algo back in had a rough go in weeks 5 and 6. Five it went 6 and 8, not terrible, but it wasn't good. And then week 6 was 5 and 10. And just when you thought it might be time to fade the algo is absolutely ripping. It's been 63% the last 3 weeks, which is sensational. We love to see that. We're creeping above even overall year to date, heading to the promised land. The promised land. We want to get to at least 56%, but we are very close to being in the green. And really, Pete, if you took out week 1, where the algo was completely blind, the algo's only had 2 losing weeks all year.
Yeah, it's been very, very consistent and solid. And that's what we know it's going to be. We're trust in the data. The data is going to be solid. As we said, or as I said, after week 5 and 6, don't start to chase. Don't start to do things that are going to turn into losing months, losing year. Trust the algo, stay consistent, and look what's happened. Bang, 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 7, 8, and 9. And we're feeling good now heading into week 10.
Yeah, if we just took out the 6 and 10 week 1, which again, we went completely off of 22 data, we're at 54%.
Yep.
So, give the algo a little leeway. Guys, if you want access to free picks, which we post routinely, if you want access to more picks, NFL, also doing NBA, head over to patreon.com/betthealgo. Unlike the other subscription services, we don't mind if you go in with all the boys and you share it, but the NBA is hot too. It is absolutely firing over 60%. And we did partner with Sports Data now. What they're doing, Pete, just to clarify, they're not taking all of the picks. What they're doing is they are tracking the top 5 rated picks for both the NBA and NFL, as well as our free picks. Awesome. So they are tracking all of that. We want to maintain transparency. We think the industry needs to get better. There's a ton of handicappers out there doing it the right way, and there's a bunch who are doing it the other way. So we feel really good with that partnership. We thank them for trying to create a cleaner, better industry around the betting world and the handicappers that go along with it. Pete, before we get into the games, and by the way, gave out a free pick last night. The algo predicted a 3-point margin of victory by Chicago, which exactly happened. I did put an error on the Patreon. I put in 23-23 with a value of 0.48, but anybody doing math would realize that 0.48 plus 3.5 of Carolina, it would have added another, right. it would have been 4 points of value if that was the case.
Either way, Carolina hit.
And Carolina hit. We gave it away. Carolina hit. It's always great to start the week off. I actually think it does make a difference, kind of the mojo. Although, even last week with the Tennessee-Pittsburgh loss, the algo predicted a Pittsburgh 18-16. Victory was 2016. So even in the loss, the algo was still clicking. And it felt pretty good. But, Pete, this week, I was at a alternative investment conference up in Dallas, and I'm bringing this up because we talked about investing in sports franchises, and it was fascinating to kind of hear the economics behind it. There was a group there actually led by a former Dallas quarterback. It wasn't Chad Pennington, I wanted to say. That was the first.
Chad Hutchinson or something.
It was Chad Hutchinson, who also played baseball for the Cards and then goes to the Cowboys for a little bit. But it was so interesting to hear all the economics behind investing in actual franchises and all of the ecosystem around that. A big part of it was sports betting. So although these teams don't actually facilitate in the sports betting industry, if you're betting in a 5-mile radius of a particular major sports team, odds are there's a revenue share from either the DraftKings, the FanDuels of the world, back to those teams. So sports betting, definitely a big component of the future revenue stream. So I just thought that was super cool, kind of, the intersection of my worlds of investing in sports betting and, what's better. I honestly want to now invest in this one group that Chad was part of, and it was just fascinating. I was all over it. We also figured out that if we can get enough Bet the Algo subscriptions, that we can also go and do some ground up development, build a NFL or MLB team here in Central Texas. Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh my God, it'd be amazing. We've been begging for an MLB team.
Oh my goodness. Wait, question for you, Pete. If out of, we have soccer that's outside of the four, but if you could build a major sports franchise here in Austin, Texas, of the big four, who do you think who would you want it to be?
I mean, you'd want it to be an NFL team, obviously, first and foremost. That's what.
Do you think it would support it?
Yeah, there's enough people here to support it. Yeah, absolutely. It'll obviously depend on the team, but I think there's more than enough. There's more than enough to go around here in Austin. Yeah,
the timing of it would work as far as the seasonality, because the summers are just too hot. Baseball with the retractable roof. Let's not do it. I do think football could definitely work. So I want to bring back the Texas Oilers in Central Texas, have it out in the hill country, beautiful rolling hills, rivers. Who's with me?
Or what about you could go to Texas. You could call them. Do we call them something close to the University of Texas to keep it Austin-y?
I say the The Texas Oilers. I want those Oiler unis. I'm hooked. I will break up with the New England Patriots right now. Make it happen. Make it happen. I am ready. We need a new team.
Let's get into it.
Let's do it. Fine. Did you just crack a beer?
I did. My second one already.
Wow. I love that. So our folks over that subscribe to the primetime package, we gave out that free play to everybody. We are giving them an additional pick for Sunday. By the way, all these packages, we're like hooking them up. We like to give them like free additional picks. Guys, come on over. Subscribe. Patreon.com/BetTheYago. You don't even need to pay. You can just be a follower. You can just come on there and be a fan and be part of the ecosystem, and you can see what we're all about. So we're going to do the free 3 week 10 and get into it right now. The first game that we're going to get into is Tennessee on the road at Tampa Bay. This line opened up at the Bucks laying 1. It's now 1.5. By the way, Bucks, who are 3-5, are actually pretty decent against the spread, 5-3. Pete, Bucks had a nice win. That was my lock of the week last week. What do you think about this game with Tennessee coming off a loss?
Yeah, I mean, from the outside, the teams don't feel like they're that far apart, really. The big thing here is the play at quarterback. Will Levis had his first game, his debut game, where expectations were probably pretty low, and he was able to chuck it all over the map. And D Hop had a big game and threw for 4 touchdowns, and everything looked rosy. But also, it was a home game. I think against the Falcons, I believe, was who that game was against. It was an easy. It's a great starter for him. Now he's had another week to play, come back down to earth a little bit. Now he's going to be going against a decent defense, not a fantastic defense, an okay defense in Tampa. But I think the bigger thing is Baker looks like he's starting to play well. I have faith in Baker. I at least think that every week, even against good teams, I think Tampa are going to be in the game and could be in the game late. So I have a lot more faith in Tampa Bay here. I'm going to go with Tampa.
I like that. I like that take. These are very evenly matched football teams. And so really, if you think about it, Tampa Bay being at home and this line sitting at where it is, it kind of tells you Tennessee's the better football team slightly. And I'm going to give you 3 reasons why I do think Tennessee's the better football team and why I think they can actually come away with a victory. Their rushing offense, notably strong. They're ranked 7th in yards per rush, 12th in rush yards a game. And that matches up a relatively weaker rushing D that Tampa has. They aren't quite that old Bulls D against the rush that they were in years past. Tennessee also, and this is going to come into play, mark my words, they've got a fantastic 4th down conversion rate. They're ranked 5th. So I think there could be some gambles, right around that 40, 45-yard line that Vrabel's going to take, and gamble on. And they've got a great conversion efficiency on 4th down. I think that's going to come to play. Tennessee's defense, they're also fantastic in the red zone. They're ranked 3rd in opponent red zone scoring percentage. So even if Tampa is able to move the ball, there's a bend not break game or I guess scenarios that I'll see play out. I'm going to go with Tennessee being the better football team, even though I've been on the backs of Tampa Bay the last couple weeks. It comes to a halt here. Tennessee didn't get the cover last week. I've got to go with Tennessee here. The algorithm has a very close game. Tennessee 18.99, effectively 19 to 17.76. Call it a 1-point game in favor of Tennessee that potentially could feel right. So the algo's on Tennessee. I'm on Tennessee. You're getting over 2 points of value on the Titans. Moving on. Washington on the road against Seattle. Washington had a victory for us last week against New England. We had that in the free 3. That one felt pretty good. And they had a lot of yards. Washington offense looks very, very good. Seeing this line, Pete, I just had it up here too. And I've got like a million screens opened up here.
Looks like 6.5.
It's a big number.
Yeah.
It's a really big number. I'm having a tough time understanding this number. Does this number make sense to you?
Yeah, it does. It actually absolutely does. Seattle are a far better team than Washington. Washington, they got a win last weekend. Yes, they did. Look at the team. They beat one of the worst teams in the NFL, and they really, really struggle to beat them as well. New England Patriots are awful. And that's plain and simple. Seattle had a bad week against a very, very good team on the road. They got absolutely demolished by the Baltimore Ravens, but that's going to happen to a lot of teams this year. Baltimore look like they're one of the best teams in the NFL. I'm almost going to give Seattle a pass, but more importantly, I think it's a perfect game for Seattle to go back to Seattle, a difficult place to go play. We got an East Coast team flying to the West Coast to play this game. Seattle, notoriously very good at home. It's got a rally the troops game. After beating a good Cleveland team, they get stomped by the Ravens, back down to earth a little bit. They need a win to reconfirm that they're a playoff team. I think this is a blowout win for Seattle. Washington give up. There's only one team that give up more points than Washington, and that's Denver, who gave up 70 in a game. So that tells me something. I think Seattle by 1 million here. This is my lock of the week.
Wow. That's impressive. That's impressive. The Commanders have hit the money line in 6 of their last 10 away games. I can't get over last week's loss from the Ravens. They didn't even show up.
Yep.
I can't give them a pass. That's okay. I really can't. Not from what I'm seeing at all. And I think this Washington team is pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. I've said it, but Robinson, man, that guy is just a stud. Like, if I could go on, one of those, I don't play video games, but if I did, where you can design your own player, it would look like Robinson. It would look like him. He's just a specimen of an athlete. Washington's offense, they rank 9th in the NFL, average of 242 pass yards per game. That's considerably higher than Seattle's 19th ranked passing offense. They're averaging 214 yards per game. So I think Washington's passing attack is going to give them an advantage there. They've got a great completion percentage. They're ranked 13th. Howell's completing just under 67%. Seattle's offense, their completion percentage is right around there, 64%. So you're getting a little advantage there. I think it's just too many points. And Washington, they're allowing 7.2 yards a pass. They're ranked 28th. So Seattle does have an advantage there. I just think this is going to be a back and forth type game. If we lose this game, I say we, you know where I'm going, because I'm going to be on the side of the algo here. If myself lose this game, it's a touchdown game. It's going to be who has this ball last. And in those games, I'm going to take the points every single time. Give me the Commanders. Pete, what does the algo have? The algo has Seattle winning a close game, not a 6-point game, 23.13 to 19.36, essentially a 4-point game. You're getting over 2 points of value on Washington. In fact, the very same number, 2.23 exactly, same value that we had on Tennessee. All right, guys, we've got one game left on the free 3 for week 10. If you want to hear more and see more of the value index algo data, patreon.com/betthealgo. I know we've got some handicappers that listen to this routinely. We've got NBA, we've got NFL, and we're winning. We are absolutely on a tear. And I say we're not doing anything, Pete. The algo's doing everything. We're just here to bring a little life to a machine that really can't talk to us all that much. But when it has something to say, we're going to listen. Cleveland heads to Baltimore. Cleveland looked great last week. Baltimore looked great last week. This also feels like a rather large line for a game, an interdivisional game. Its line opened up at 5.5. It's now at 6.5. Fairly low total. Baltimore is 6-3 against the spread, 3-1 at home. What do you think?
Yeah. How's the sound, by the way? Am I coming through okay?
Oh, you sound great.
Okay, beautiful. I was worried there that I wasn't. But yeah, listen, this is a massive football game. This division, I tell you, a massive football game for me. One very simple reason. This is the furthest I've ever gone in a survivor pool, and I'm taking Baltimore this week. I don't feel great about it because it's a divisional game and they're going up against one of the best defenses in the league. However, the reason I'm taking Baltimore is the very same reason. They have the best defense in the league when it comes to points, averaging less than 14 points per game. It's really incredible what they've been able to do. Significantly less than pretty much everybody else in the league. Like when you see points per game broken down, it's pretty even once you get to 17. You get a number at 17, 18, 19, 20. Baltimore averaging something like 13.8 per game. So really playing some good defense. They're playing consistent offense. I think at home they'll just be tough to beat. Cleveland are good, though. They're sneaky. Deshaun Watson is back. How much that helps them, I don't know. We both agree he hasn't looked very good. There's not much of a difference with him and PJ Walker. That's for sure, right? It doesn't look that significant. I'm going to go here with Baltimore only really because I have them in survivor pool. I don't like the 6.5 number. It is a lot of points. But if I take Cleveland, it's awful juju for survivor pool. So give me Baltimore.
Okay. Baltimore is legit. My bet earlier this year when we did our over-under preview, some long shots, I said Baltimore to win the Super Bowl. They look legitimate. Last week, we built the circa 5 in real time. And I want to add one right now and build it in real time because we have some good juju going on. Let me tell you, you talk about Baltimore's good defense. Cleveland defense ranks first in the NFL in terms of yards allowed per game at 235 yards on average. Baltimore's defense, 262 yards per game. So I think Cleveland's D, this is less about Cleveland's offense and less about Baltimore's offense. This is about their defenses, and they both have great defenses. So I think this is going to be an absolute slugfest. The Browns lead the NFL with the lowest opponent third down conversion percentage.
That's
the lowest.
I love that.
Under 26%. Ravens, look, again, they're great too. 7th lowest opponent third down conversion rate. Cleveland's offense, they rank 7th in the NFL in red zone scoring percentage at 63%. That's higher than Baltimore's offense, which ranks 6th at 65% scoring rate. So slightly more efficient. These teams are very evenly matched, in my opinion. Obviously, Lamar is significantly better, but Cleveland's defense is this good. Give me Cleveland. I'm going to put the Browns in the circa. Hopefully, we middle Pete. Baltimore wins this game by a field goal or 4, which feels right. The algorithm. has Baltimore winning 26.5 to 22.82. There's your 4 points. 6.5 point spread. You're getting almost 3 points of value on the Browns. So I am with the algo. All three of these games, they feel great, and we are going to put the Browns in the circa as well. Oof. That is going. What's come again?
I hate that juju. I hate that juju on me picking Baltimore, but no, I understand it, and I think you're right. It's a lot of points. I would too.
Guys, that's going to do it for the free 3. We will catch all of our Patreons on the other side of the gate. We hope you come and join us, subscribe, even if for the prime time. You know, along with the free picks, you'll also get 3, sometimes 4 picks on the NFL and occasionally some free NBA plays. So thanks so much for listening. We'll see you.